All right, welcome back.
Been a while, guys.
I know.
In case you forgot, this is Mountains and Molehills.
Right.
Wherever you are seeing him, is Brandon Alterman. I'm Joe Valenti. This is the Oscars edition.
Yes.
Seems like this is the topic everyone is talking about.
Right. So we don't have this. Normally, this is a show for those of you who are tuning in for the first time. Normally, we discuss minute things that we are making a much larger deal out of. And today is we just wanted to talk about the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock incident at the Oscars last night.
Things are going to get jiggy up in here.
Yeah. I mean, we were considered having a guest, but then we opted to have just the two of us like we normally do.
Yeah? Who is our guest?
I was making that up. I just needed to work in the Will Smith. I needed to have the Will because Will Smith.
Who did you book?
No, because Will Smith did the cover of just the two of us.
That was just as bad as Wild Wild West.
Okay, I actually like that. I like his cover.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the movie. I'm like, that movie sucked.
Wild Wild West. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh. Yeah.
But I know it is notoriously bad, which actually Chris Rock made a joke about too.
Yes. Okay. So,
all right, so let's get into it.
Missed it. Who hasn't seen the Oscars or has heard of what happened at the Oscars? We were actually talking real time when it happened. Would you like to dive in?
Yeah. So all right. So my in watching just to recap. Chris Rock gets up to present an award. It was actually Best Documentary, which is kind of ironic given something that I would like to get into later. He got up to present Best Documentary, and he does some crowd work, and he gets to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, his wife, and basically makes a joke. That's Jada, I look forward to seeing G.I. Jane 2. At which point Will Smith kind of laughs, Jada rolls her eyes, and the cameras cut back to Chris Rock.
Yes.
And he proceeds to go back on script and continue announcing the award. And then he says, it sounded like he said, "Here comes Richard," which I assume is a reference to Will Smith playing Richard Williams,
he was up for nomination for later on in the night.
Right. And Will Smith, the live feed in America, which is where both of us watched.
Which I can pick about that too. I can go into that later.
Right. So the live feed in America shows Will Smith kind of approaching Chris Rock, and it was hard to tell because they used the dump right. So in watching it in real time, there was like a dump, which I actually knew about.
In the country, if you're watching, it looked like your TV froze, because that's exactly what I told you, Brandon. I said, "Oh, my TV just froze for like a couple of seconds," and me being stupid, I should have realized it was a dump button because of what I've used to do, but. Right. He reminds me, it's a dump button. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay.
So because then
brilliant edit happens.
Yeah, I was going to say. Right. So the American coverage basically shows Will Smith slap Chris Rock. To me, it didn't immediately appear that A, he made contact, or B, that it was. I thought it was kind of like a bit.
You didn't think he made contact?
On the initial one. You thought he made contact on the initial one? The initial one, it looks like he gets out of the way a little bit.
No, you hear there's only one hit. What are you talking about?
I'm saying when I'm initially watching it.
Oh, okay.
Not like the 17 replays that I watched today. I'm talking about when I initially watched it. So I'm giving like a play-by-play of what occurred. So from my perspective was that it looked, I couldn't tell if it was really because of the way it kind of like cut out and cut back in. You see Chris Rock kind of just standing there. You didn't see Will Smith walking back on
no, you didn't. Live. That's the one part I want to. because you don't. Okay.
You see it on unedited versions, but anyway. So then
Not even that. There needs to be a camera on the moment Will looks over to Jada, because he has to look over to Jada to realize, oh shit, I shouldn't be laughing. Let me go up there.
Right.
Because he wouldn't have laughed in the first place had he seen Jada rolling her eyes.
Right. So
that's the part you need to see.
Yeah. Right. I am curious what that conversation was like.
Did she go was she rolling her eyes and look at him you better go up there, give him a nudge or anything, or point to gesture, go up there or something?
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine that that she would. I mean, I don't think that
you don't know.
I guess I listen, everybody's relationship is different. I think that from the way that they're portrayed in the media, they have a very progressive relationship where I think they view each other as equals. And I would imagine jumping to conclusions based on just the way other couples conduct themselves who are equally open and progressive. I would think that she would be the one who wanted to speak for herself. And maybe she kind of just, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what possessed him to get up and physically attack Chris Rock. I mean, obviously we can get into,
I want to see that gap.
Right. I mean, we can get into the reasons why, because it wasn't just, it wasn't this one-off joke that I from what I was reading, it wasn't a one-off joke that kind of prompted this. There was Chris Rock.
I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew genuinely that she was going through alopecia.
You don't think Chris Rock knew?
No.
Okay, that I don't know.
I don't think Chris Rock is that type of comedian to go after someone in that way. First of all,
so I think that there's several things. So a couple of things at play. One, the Oscars do typically have some more cutting jokes, specifically at the expense of those in attendance.
Yeah,
they might be out.
You should be expected to get roasted 100% completely.
Right. There's an element of roast.
I mean, come on, especially when you got Ricky Gervais being the host of the Golden Globes all those years, and he even at one point is making fun they don't care. I'm here again 5 times. 4 times. Come on.
So I think that there's
anything. Didn't he say something recently about Weinstein at the awards?
Who? Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's different when you. So here's the thing. So obviously we're discussing that there's a roast element of any time that there's a presenters at an award show, but that being said, I think there's a difference between discussing somebody's body of work or maybe their attire for the night versus the way that they physically look. And I think that obviously a haircut, under normal circumstances, a haircut is something that you can control. Obviously, there's extenuating circumstances with Jada Pinkett Smith, where she has
Jada Pinkett Smith looks beautiful with short hair. So did Demi Moore in G.I.
G.I. Jane, right? So okay, so let's.
She looked. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so right. I personally don't. I don't care what Who am I to say how somebody should wear their hair? The point, but you do bring up a good point with the G.I. Jane thing. So from what I was reading today and kind of last night, so Demi Moore kind of took a lot of flack for shaving her head in the 90s when she filmed G.I. Jane. And a lot of people said that it caused her to lose some of her femininity, which I think is an interesting take, because when you're making a joke about the whole G.I. Jane aspect of it with, like Chris Rock was, there are other women who may not be in the position or may not have the self-confidence that Jada Pinkett Smith does to go out and have short hair like that. And I think by making a joke about like, oh, it's time for G.I. Jane, you're not just targeting, like, yes, he's specifically saying it about Jada Pinkett Smith, but he's also saying it about basically every woman or every person that has alopecia. And the thing is, like, people, men or women, are sensitive about, about their hair and about going bald, whether it's, they're going through chemo, or they have alopecia, or just natural, pattern baldness. And I think that needs to be thought of. I mean, listen, we have a full day basically to look at this and really dissect it. And I think that's also part of, I'd like to give that caveat that while we're sitting here and we're saying like, oh, he could have thought of this, he could have thought of that. I mean, think about how many, this is the 94th Oscars. Think about how many other times things were said about people in attendance where they didn't, it didn't cross a line, or whether it's it's about somebody's appearance or their body of work or whatever it is. I don't know. I think that it's.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With that all being said.
Yeah.
Do you think he was in the right, or in the wrong to do that?
Do I think Chris Rock? I think if Chris Rock definitively knew,
you could even go that way too. For Chris Rock to even say the joke, which I think they're all written. Well, they're not. I don't think they're written now. No, that was off the cuff.
I think that was off the cuff.
I was gonna.
But either way, I mean, you have
to slap him in the first place. Like if you got beef or something, say during the commercial break. Right.
Okay. So let's break this. So
there's. I would have had not watch this. I would have had no problem at all if he would have just, if he was angry or whatever, instead of marching up, he could have did everything else. He could have just said, get your, what do you say? Take your, what was the exact phrase, Brandon?
That what Will Smith said to him?
Yeah. Get
my wife's name out of your effing mouth.
Yes. And he could have said, get my wife's
name out of your effing mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have said that. He could have flipped them off, gave him the bird from the seat. He could have did all that.
Yeah.
And I would have had no problem with it. But he had what accomplished him from getting up and walking all the way down, because that's not a short walk. That's a long walk. So you have time to think, do I want to keep on doing this? And he said yes.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The whole thing. I don't think that Will Smith was even remotely in the right. I think he definitely handled it wrong by going up there physically assaulting him. I mean, let's call it what it is. He did. He slapped him in the face.
Yeah, he did.
I think if that's a normal work, and the other thing too is like when people think of, when there are things that are outside of an office job, it's easy to think of it differently, but it's not. They're at work. They are at basically a work function. He is at an award show for his work. And the same way that if I were at an award show for my line of work, if somebody made a disparaging comment about my wife, I wouldn't go up and slap them in the face. It's granted, it's different. It's televised. I do think that he missed an opportunity to really during his.
Will Smith did was just kill comedy right there. You realize that?
Okay, so there's. Hold on. Let me finish one thought, and then we can jump back on the killing comedy thing, because I do agree. No. I think there are real world implications for comedy too.
What he did affects so many different things in so many different
right. Okay, ways. So let me finish the thought on. I think that he could have, and again, I have a full 24 hours basically to process this, think of what I would have done to, really process, think of it through. Whereas he's in a moment. I think what he could have done is said something to Chris Rock at the commercial break, and then later when he won his award, and granted at that point he didn't realize he was going to win, he could have taken the opportunity and said,
not a good look though.
It's definitely not a good look, but he could have said,
horrible
he could
look.
right. He could have taken that opportunity and said, I'm going to, like everybody
should have let off with the apology. And my job.
I don't even think.
Oh, I did. What are you kidding me? That's what everybody was. That was the number one trending thing on Twitter. Everyone
was that he should have let off with an apology. He shouldn't have put himself in a position where he had to apologize. What I think would have been better.
Was that moment before the Amy Schumer joke?
Which
Amy Schumer joke? When we came back from commercial.
Oh, when she says like, "Oh, what happened?"
Like, I was trying to get, which I think that's overlooked too now because of this. I thought Amy Schumer and the hosts were fantastic.
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
But even that, Amy Schumer said, "Oh, what happened?" I don't know. Was that before or after?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
But I do think you bring up a good point that by doing this, it detracts from a lot of other people, mainly Questlove, who then won an award right after this happened for what I think is a fantastic documentary, Summer of Soul. It's on Hulu. Check it out. Yeah. So I think during his acceptance speech, Will Smith could have taken the opportunity to either A, lead off with an apology, or B, talk about the fact that sometimes it's easy to make a joke. It's easy to look at something and say it's one way. But the bottom line is everybody's going through something, or, I shouldn't say everybody's going through something. People go through stuff that they don't project, that they don't talk about openly. And honestly, from what I was reading today, she does talk about the alopecia thing very openly.
And that's another thing too, right there. That clears you of any, if you talk about it openly, it's a public thing. It's not private. It's fair. I think for comedians, if they see something, it's public. The whole world already knows about it. It's fair game to use in content.
So you think he was in the right for making a joke about her hair loss?
Okay. I'm not saying in that moment, but I'm just
I disagree with you. I think, what if she were going through chemo and she's open about her cancer treatments? It's like, oh yeah, I see you're preparing for G.I. Jane. There's no way anybody would make that joke. Nobody would make that joke. Do you think somebody would make a bald joke about a cancer patient? This is basically the same thing. He's making a joke about somebody's hair loss related to an illness.
No, and yeah. I don't know. Listen, I don't think he meant it. I mean,
I think that there's an element of,
I don't know anymore. I'm just I don't know. Actually, I'm looking through Twitter right now, and I saw now I don't know if you heard this, but the Oscars are now looking into a formal investigation. And
I don't even know. I saw that. I don't even know
what that fucking means. But I'm just.
What are they gonna do? They're not gonna take away his Oscar. I mean, that's so stupid. I don't know what that means. Honestly, I don't know how they could have handled it better. Some people say they should have pulled him from the studio, or not the studio, the theater.
Theater, yeah.
I get it. I wouldn't, if they did that, I wouldn't have found any issue with it. I do want to circle back to, okay, so I want to, one more thing about Chris Rock,
yes,
and the hair thing. So Chris Rock, and this is something I didn't see talked about too much today. I think I only saw like one or two outlets talk about this. Chris Rock made a documentary 13 years ago about hair.
Actually, I think I did hear it
so
today.
He made a documentary called Good Hair.
Yeah.
In the documentary, there is it's about kind of beauty standards for women of color, and he has a woman who has alopecia in his documentary, and he talks about kind of her, I don't want to say her struggles with it, maybe. Her experience with alopecia and her experience procuring, wigs, and kind of what she deals with and what she goes through. I haven't seen the documentary in a number of years, so I don't fully remember. So please if I'm misquoting it or I'm misinterpreting or misremembering, please feel free to leave a comment and say, no, this isn't the way it was portrayed in the movie, in the documentary, excuse me. I'm, you know, I want to be respectful of people and their opinions. I'm not, I don't have alopecia. I'm not bald. I don't have any autoimmune diseases. I'm obviously not a woman of color. What?
Breaking news, Will Smith just actually issued an apology on social media. So it took him a whole day to issue an apology to Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And let me see. He starts off, you can find this on his social media, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior last night at the Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jaina's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to apologize publicly to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There's no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers, the attendees, everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has strained. Okay, I am a work in progress, sincerely, Will. Okay. Now I have a thought.
Okay.
Well, do you have a thought? I have a thought. Okay, let me go.
I'll let you go first.
So it took him a whole day to say that. And why couldn't you come up with that? Pretty much just said what I said earlier, in that you should have let off in the first thing. Hey, I'm sorry, like violence. And then he went on that whole beautiful speech about, that it was about love and all that, yada, yada. It was a great speech.
Right.
That he was crying, and he got very emotional, probably about everything else too. But, and then he pretty much said this. This to me sounds like it had to be run through his PR people, and then it was finally like put out today.
Yeah, I'm sure. Of course it was. I mean, he met with his people.
That was pretty much said. He should have just fucking said that right then and there.
I agree with you. I don't disagree with you.
I don't know. I'm a work in pro. I don't know.
I think that they're, listen,
I don't know.
We've all done things that we're not proud of, where we've acted, out of emotion. Even I've talked about it on this podcast where, I got kind of heated with the guy making my Indian food a couple of months ago. And
I've gotten heated with you.
What'd you say?
We've gotten heated with each other.
We've gotten heated with each other. Exactly.
We've gotten heated with Kristen, our other friend. Our friend's gotten heated with us. Our other friends gotten heated with you. Our other friends got heated. Everyone gets heated.
Of course, exactly. We all get heated. We all say things that. All right. We all say things or do things that are out of turn. However, I think that there's a difference between, as somebody pointed out today, they're men in their 50s. Listen, I don't want to commend Chris Rock for being like, hey, you didn't hit him back. The bottom line is, it could have been a much uglier situation.
Well, time out for a minute. Did you see for a split second?
Yeah.
He was about to say something. And then he went, let me just.
Yeah.
Right after he got slapped.
Yeah.
He
did. He
got the S slapped out of me.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you watch the, right. So,
and then he goes, never mind.
Yeah. So I guess this can transition to the point that I wanted to make.
How's my acting in that?
Fantastic. So you said this Will Smith is effectively killing comedy. I originally thought we were on the same page, but based on
those aren't even my words. I can't even use those words. I saw that from I think Whitney Cummings on social media on Facebook.
So I'm curious. Okay, so when you said that, my interpretation of that was, I think that there are a lot of comedians that do crowd work. There are a lot of comedians that say things about the crowd, about people in the crowd. And I mean, listen, I've gone to comedy shows where I've sat in the front row, and I distinctly remember I went to a show at a very small venue in New Brunswick, and the comic on stage, basically, it was me at a table with two couples. And
who was it?
Who was the comedian?
Wait, do I know this story?
I don't think so, because it's like it was a non-story. I'm just saying, like, I'm just using this as an example. Like it was like minuscule and it was like funny in the moment. But I'm just saying it as an example. Like I've been in the situation where like I sat at a table with two couples, and as a comedian, the guy's like, "What are you guys driving the mystery machine together?" Like, that's funny. The guy's doing crowd work. I didn't take it personally. Maybe if the guy would have said something that I was more sensitive to, I would have been a little bit more angry. The thing is, there are thousands of comedy shows a year, right? At venues all over the country. And I think by Will Smith getting up and physically attacking Chris Rock, to my interpretation of you saying it kills comedy, is it kind of allows people to say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go assault the person on stage. And there have
That's
been
what I'm
times.
saying, though. It kills it.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, I've heard people say like, oh, you got like with Chappelle making the trans comments, when people will say like, oh, he's killing comedy, cancel culture. You got to make jokes. You got to be light about stuff. Like,
no, I meant it in the terms of how I saw it and read it was, what's stopping the next person, whoever's on stand-up doing something, mentioning something about someone, to get up and just slug him in the face.
Right.
Think
about the Michael Richards.
You got a stupid tie on. Oh, you got those. You wearing those kind of loafers. Oh, people with buzz cuts, and then they go, oh, my buzz cut. Poof.
Okay, but think about like the Michael Richards thing from 2006, right? I mean, that was horrific. That is completely indefensible. And quite frankly, those guys pulled out their phone and just recorded. And they took, I don't know if there's a high road in that situation, but they took the more appropriate road of like, I'm going to record you saying these horrific things. And I mean,
no one had the lack of brains to get up from their seat and attack somebody.
Right.
On the stage.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So
let alone be a high profile name like Will Smith.
Yep. I agree that it justifies. I think that there's an element of when celebrities do things, Charles Barkley famously said, "I'm not a role model. Don't expect me to be one."
What he has to say about this on I don't know the next time I see him.
But the bottom line is, there are athletes and celebrities who understand that they are a role model, right? Like I grew up loving Derek Jeter. I was a Yankee fan. I became, I really started watching baseball when I was like 6-7 years old. That's when they went on their, four World Series in 5 years. What was
90s, that? The Yankees.
Yeah, right. Like I was into the Yankees in the late 90s. And I continued to be a fan of the Yankees to this day. And, Derek Jeter, I believe Derek Jeter was never thrown out of a game for arguing with an umpire. He never turned around to talk to an umpire because he understood the imbalance of power there, right?
I can't fact check you on that. I don't follow baseball all that well.
You can fact check me. I mean, I know for a fact.
No, I'll take your word.
Yeah. I've heard him say in interviews where, people will say like, you never show up the umpire. And he's like, you know what? You can have a conversation, right? So if you're at the plate and you're just looking at the pitcher, as long as you don't turn around to the umpire, he can still hear you, right? You can still talk and be like, hey, you know what? I kind of thought that was I thought that was a ball. And, the umpire really respects it. I think they respect a player for that. And I think that's the way any parent would want their child to behave. And I think that there has to be, when you are a celebrity, when you are in the public eye, there has to be an element of that. Just kind of behaving yourself or conducting yourself in a manner that, you are a role model, right? You are a person that people are going to model themselves after, good, bad, or indifferent. And it's unfortunate sometimes because we're all human. We all make mistakes. We are all in that growing and learning process. You know, but I do think that I felt like this was pretty egregious. You asked me before we hit record, you said, how do you feel about this? And I said, I have a lot of things to say. I don't think either one of them was correct. Listen, if Chris Rock didn't know that, I'll say this, the Chris Rock thing, if he did not know that she had alopecia and he made that joke and maybe he just thought that was like a hairstyle decision, that's different than knowing she has alopecia.
What do you mean that then he's out of the clear?
I would agree with that.
Then there's no guilt on him. Then, okay, if we go down that road, he makes the joke, G.I. Jane, and he rolls his eyes, and then
but if he didn't know,
gets up, cracks him, like, I
was gonna say, but if he didn't know, then he should have said that like today. Like he should have at some point said, I'm deeply sorry. The joke didn't land. I was unaware of this situation. Like it was in poor taste. I'm sorry, I don't know. Has he apologized?
Why would Chris have to apologize?
Why would Chris Rock have to apologize about making a bald joke about somebody with a hair loss illness, an autoimmune disease? Joe, this goes back to what I was saying about like if she were a cancer patient, it'd be the same thing.
No, it's not though. It's like,
how do you not see that as the same thing? How is that different?
I changed.
No. I want to hear you defend that. I want to hear you defend somebody. No, it's not. I don't think it's funny because I think it's insane that you could possibly say, oh yeah, I think it's okay that he's making these jokes about people. It's not like it's a choice for her,
But so then maybe what I'm saying before actually goes. If it's public knowledge, then it's fair game, right?
I disagree with you. That doesn't make any sense. If it's public knowledge that she's sick, it's okay to make fun of it.
If she acknowledges it.
But I don't think just because somebody acknowledges something doesn't mean that they want it talked about or made light of.
I don't know, man. I think there's worse. I don't know. There's worse things. I could come up with something, but I can't right now. I had it before.
I think it's completely inexcusable to be me. Listen, I understand what you're saying, right? Like comedians make jokes. Maybe this is it then. Maybe I just feel maybe it wasn't inexcusable. Maybe it was just I feel more for Chris because he took the beating, the physical. He got assaulted. Okay.
It's like It's like
I
saying,
don't think that should have happened.
Okay.
I'm just saying, celebrities understand. I understand what you're saying, where if somebody's putting something out there, right? If he made a joke, listen, if he made a joke about their marriage and the entanglement thing, if he made an entanglement joke, I would have more of a problem with Will Smith going and decking him for that. That's something that they are choosing to do, right? So she's not choosing to have an autoimmune disorder. She's not choosing to lose her hair. She's not choosing to have that, right? She is choosing to embrace the effects of that, right? Where part of having, I think the main symptom of alopecia is you lose your hair. Right? Okay, so she's embracing that by not wearing a wig. Personally, I don't think she has to. If that's how she wants to go out and she feels confident in that, that's fantastic. Because you know what? Going back to the role model thing, she might be empowering somebody else who has alopecia.
All right. Yeah. But what about when remember? Okay, we go back to Ricky Gervais on the Golden Globes.
Okay.
Was it the Golden Globes? I gotta look now. I'm gonna fact.
He hosted the Golden Globes. Yeah.
No. I'm trying to figure out what it was. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
With Mel
By the
Gibson.
way, we're filming this. Hold on. By the way, we're filming this virtually, but if we were in person, I wouldn't deck you right now, even though I disagree with what you're saying.
It would never have even crossed my mind. I would take it like a champ and proceed onward.
Right. That girl Sabrina's giving me like hands in the background. She's like, calm down. Just, gotta get heat a little.
Wait, are you saying I'm Chris Rock and you're Will Smith?
I think we're saying, sure. Maybe Jada should have told Will Smith to sit down. Could have avoided a lot of this. Yeah. So anyway, so go on. What were you going to say about Ricky Gervais?
I forgot my point now.
Ricky Gervais made a comment at the Golden Globes.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just violence. I don't know. I mean, you could say something, but like to react about like we're more civilized than to, assault someone now. Don't you think?
I agree with you. That's the crux of this. I don't know.
Like, I think, okay, maybe they were both, I don't know. Whether he knew or not, I think they were both, I guess they were both in the wrong. If he knew they were both, okay. All right, maybe I'm on your side. But then you compare things like, that's what I was looking at. I was trying to compare it to something.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, he's an alcoholic. He's a racist, yada, 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 yada. Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes. He has to present Mel Gibson next as a presenter for the next award.
Yeah.
And he makes this ongoing joke about he's a racist and how he's, this and how he's that and how he's this. And
I'm not going to lie. You're talking to the wrong person about Mel Gibson right now. It's not good to be like, listen, my Jewish friend, I want you to have sympathy for Mel Gibson. I have zero sympathy for that racist anti-Semite. Go fuck himself. Plain English. I have no sympathy for, oh man, Ricky Gervais made a joke about how fucking stupid and closed-minded Mel Gibson is. I have no sympathy for that guy.
My bad.
I mean, how are you going to compare those two? If you want to say he shouldn't have made a joke about his alcoholism, okay, fine. Mitch Hedberg famously had a joke about alcoholism is the only disease you can get yelled at for having. And then he continued, he's like, Otto, you have lupus. Nobody would ever say that. They would be like, Otto, you're an alcoholic. Like,
I've never heard of this guy before.
You what?
I never heard of this guy before.
Mitch Hedberg? Oh, he's a fantastic comedian. Very dry.
He like well known.
He passed away a number of years ago. He's pretty well known.
Older?
No, he died of drugs.
Okay, wait. All right.
Look up Mitch Hedberg. Mitch Hedberg is probably one of the funniest comedians of all time, in my opinion.
Mitch
Hedberg. He has long hair. He wears glasses. He passed away in 2005 in New Jersey, actually. To say, he has a lot of really good. He has a lot of like one-liners that are very subtle. You've probably heard me quote him before because he has stuff that you can say in like every day.
Probably have, but I don't.
Like he's like, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
I honestly don't know who this is.
Okay, well, after we're done recording this, listen.
I mean, he kind of looks familiar with the red shades.
Yeah. All right, we're getting off topic here. So, all right. So Ricky Gervais and Mel Gibson.
Okay, but that was wrong, right? That was wrong. Whatever that exchange was wrong, right?
I don't remember the exact joke.
He was just making fun of him. He was just calling him out for being those things, right?
If you're calling somebody out for being racist, I have no problem with that. That's your opinion. That's something you're choosing to believe that. You're choosing to believe
and the alcoholism,
that the Jews killed Jesus.
And the alcoholism
the
and all that.
The alcoholism's a little bit different, right? So
he was making fun of his flaws. Let's just generalize it like that. He was making fun of his flaws.
Okay.
Mel Gibson didn't come out immediately and sling him in the face. Yeah. Mel Gibson came out. I mean, he is an asshole. Mel Gibson just came out and they did a comedic.
Thanks for acknowledging that one after I went on my tirade.
No, he came out and he didn't attack. He was angry. He was pissed.
Yeah.
But they may have had words after the commercial break or during the commercial break. But he didn't attack him on live television.
Even Mel Gibson is such a despicable person. Even in a Disney cartoon, he voiced a guy who raped a teenage girl. That is the character of Mel Gibson.
Wait, what movie was this?
Pocahontas.
Who's in Pocahontas?
He was John Smith.
Oh, it's been a minute. I didn't know he was the voice for John Smith. I wasn't into Pocahontas.
Come on, you gotta paint with the colors of the wind, man.
Listen, I'm colorblind.
I really hope to God that I'm not misremembering this.
What?
Okay, no. He was John Smith. Okay.
Oh.
All right, good. I can still, all right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
I need to make sure that if I'm yelling about Mel Gibson playing a cartoon rapist, that at least it's, at least it's factual.
For some reason, my mind went straight to Hercules, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. You want to talk about James Woods? James Woods is also fucking racist.
James Woods is a racist.
James Woods is a piece of shit. James Woods is so despicable. They changed the name of the cartoon high school on Family Guy.
They did. I was gonna say, if he doesn't bring this up, I'm gonna be very upset.
Yeah.
Didn't they kill off his character?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, we went on a real tangent there.
Yes. They all need help. It was not the act. You shouldn't have just did that.
That they all need help? Yeah.
My question, how come no one says this? Where was security?
I don't know. That's
the honestly, minute, even if they didn't get him while he was walking, the minute he went like this, whack.
Yeah.
I don't care who that is. That could be Kevin Hart, Ricky Gervais, Steve Carell. Pick a name.
Okay. 3
people should be on them separating because you don't know if Chris Rock is going to retaliate. Thank God he didn't.
I agree that it could have been a much worse situation.
No, but I'm saying
it could have really escalated into something.
But I'm just saying, where was the security?
I think it just happened so quick and he turned around. I think if he was yelling at him, I think if he would have gotten up and started yelling at him and he was like, get my wife's name out of your effing mouth on stage to him, I think security would have intervened. I don't know. It's a close shot. I don't know maybe security was maybe they're closing in.
He could have heard that first, see her laugh. Instead of getting up to, go over there, he could have just yelled, "Hey man, not cool. Don't do that."
I guess, but where was security when Kanye got up on stage and told Taylor Swift, like, "I'll let you finish, but I just want to say Beyonce had album," whatever he said.
That's true.
That's basically the same thing. He got up out of his seat during an award show.
He didn't hit her.
He didn't hit her. I'm saying it's the same. Your thing is like, why wasn't security all over him? I'm saying, right. Okay. Stat Girl Sabrina saying he grabbed the mic from her. I don't know. I don't watch the VMAs or whatever.
I know. I was going to say VMAs.
In all honesty, I think that might have been the year that might have been like 2 days after Hurricane Sandy hit, or not Sandy, Irene.
14? Wait.
No, I think it was 12 or 13 or 11. I don't know. I distinctly remember not watching the VMAs that year. And then I remember standing in the street watching, I could be misremembering this. A tree fell. The girl I was dating at the time, a tree fell in her house. So. Why are you laughing at that?
I'm not. I'm just remembering about that. Hearing about that going, there's no way that happened.
Oh yeah, no, I saw it. I think that was the year. Regardless, I'm just saying, like, it's similar in the fact that he's getting, Kanye left his seat, got up, grabbed the microphone. Why wasn't security being like, get the fuck out of here, like,
MIA.
I don't think she was there that year.
Really? You know what's funny? I wasn't even actually going to watch the Oscars. I just turned on the TV and I was on my computer, just on, I was actually on Amazon, just doing some shopping. And I hear that the Oscars are on. And I'm like, oh, they're just on, whatever. I'm too lazy to change the remote. So that's what I ended up doing. So,
okay.
And then I get up and I go walk around for a little bit. I come back down, talking to you, during the Oscars.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching this and I'm going, did he just, what? I'm like, oh, okay. That's a thing now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. So, all right, I think we've, do you have any other mountains or molehills about the Oscars? I think we've exhausted this situation.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I can move off of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have any other, I don't think I have any mountains or molehills.
I do. The weather.
It's a separate topic, Joe.
Everyone talks about, that's being an old person now, talking about the weather.
The weather?
Yep. I like my background. I'm not cutting in and out.
Yeah. You did a good job picking it.
There we go. All right. So leave your thoughts, if any, if anyone's watching.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please weigh in. Everybody and their mother has an opinion on this.
What do we want to ask them?
If you feel like, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you
who's in the right, you think Chris Rock should have did it or should have said the joke? Do you think he knew? Yeah. Was Will Smith in the right to do that? You want to talk about their relationship, him and Jada's. We know that's weird. About that history. What do you think about that, by the way?
Their relationship? What people do on their own time behind their closed doors is their own fucking business. Listen, honestly, like, if that's working out for them, fantastic. In case anybody is unaware, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have a very open relationship where they were in what, I forgot which one of them. One of them called it an entanglement where basically the story is that Jada was seeing a younger man.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the issue was exactly. So Sabrina's going to be our guest today.
From what I remember, because it was a while ago,
he
felt like
that girl Sabrina's coming on
first in every aspect, including the relationship. Like,
so he
was able to do everything that he wanted, and now she wanted time for like herself and take things that she wanted to do.
Okay.
So she felt very neglected and appreciated.
Okay. So I think Sabrina was saying is that basically Jada Pinkett Smith was feeling neglected, that Will Smith does whatever he wants.
She supported his career.
Okay.
She's done a lot.
Okay. So she supported, but she had her own career, no?
Not for a while.
That's what I'm saying. She's not like a stranger off the street. She's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Right.
So I'm saying all's fair game if you're in the Oscar attendance.
So I think Sabrina's saying that her understanding of it is that Jada Pinkett Smith kind of put her career on hold to support Will Smith going to, make all these movies that he's making. And she took it. And he took care of the kids. Jaden Smith was in all these movies with him.
Yeah.
I mean, really? That kid would be fucking broke. Plus, Willow had a music career. She whips her hair back and forth. I wonder if she was whipping her hair back and forth yesterday, being like, shame on my dad.
Jaden tweeted, that's how we do it. And
that kid's such a fucking idiot. Yes. I hate that kid. I really do. He's so stupid.
I'll let you say it.
He's so he's just, I don't know. He's so goddamn stupid.
He could take a long walk off a short pier.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those, he's like Chet Hanks, right? Where like, he's one of these like celebrity kids that's just so entitled, and I don't know. I gotta say the one good
on VH1.
I hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Didn't he have like a reality TV show on that on VH1?
Chet Hanks?
No, like celebrity rappers' kids.
I don't know. That's
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Zach, look that up. Tell her to look it up right now.
He's laying on the couch.
I watched that show. I know what he's talking about.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah. I gotta say, the one good thing about having zero audience is that we're never gonna get canceled for me calling Jaden Smith a fucking idiot. So I don't have to worry about my comments about Mel Gibson because everybody agrees.
Balance out.
Yeah.
They're neutral.
Let me tell you, if somebody is still watching an hour in, this is the longest podcast we've ever had.
Yeah.
That girl Sabrina's looking up the was it Celebrity Rappers Kids?
Yes. I'm telling you, it was a show.
Who was on that? Like Snoop Dogg's kids?
No, it was some like they were like some of them were like.
By the way, do you know what Jamie Foxx's real name is?
No, but you're gonna enlighten me now.
Yeah, I was shocked. I thought his name was Jamie Foxx.
No,
or at least Jamie. It's not. I think I knew the Fox came from Red Fox. Eric Marlon Bishop.
I could kind of see that.
What do you mean?
Like, I could see I could see him being that name. What, say his name again? I'm good.
Eric Marlon Bishop.
I could see him being called Eric Marlon Bishop. Okay. Like, I could see him being an Eric.
Do you see Snoop Dogg as a Calvin?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you see? I'm developing this whole comedy bit about rappers having Thanksgiving dinner and then calling each other by their real names.
Okay.
Like Marshall Mathers or like Calvin Brodus. Hold on, I had a whole list. Who? Chet Hanks? What celebrities' children were on?
Like the Simmons kids, like Angela Simmons, Vanessa Simmons.
Okay, so Russell Simmons' kids. Romeo is Master P's son. Okay. This is where I'm gonna look like a real old man.
Yeah.
Romeo had a music. Just to clarify, Romeo had a music career while we were like younger, and I believe listening to music. That's the only reason I know that Romeo is Master P's son. Isn't like Lil Bow Wow related to Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
They're like nephew. Or
it's his nephew, yeah.
Or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Who else we got? Line them up.
Damon Dash. His son is also Damon Dash.
I don't know who Damon Dash is.
These are all from hip hop.
Okay. Do you know who Damon Dash is?
No.
Okay. This is not the genre I typically listen to.
No, but it's fun guessing.
Yeah. Oh, Ice Cube also has a ridiculous name.
Ice Cube?
Yeah, Ice Cube's real name is O'Shea Jackson.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know, right?
That's
Imagine growing up in Compton and they're like, O'Shea. No wonder he's like, it's Ice Cube now. Like, at what point do you decide, like, hey, I'm going to be Ice Cube?
Did he legally change his name to Ice Cube? Like, or does he have it on his
Could you imagine?
I can't. Like,
well, imagine, like, he's late to the airport.
O'Shea, whatever his name is.
Well, imagine he's late to the airport and they're like, O'Shea Jackson, please report to the terminal. And he's like, yo, it's Ice Cube. It was a terrible Ice Cube impression.
Like, I don't know. That's a very interesting name. Let's see. Yeah, O'Shea Jackson Sr.
And Junior's his son. That's what made me think of it, looking up the Rap Kids. Growing Up Hip Hop is the name of the show.
Also, Salt and Pepper's daughter is on there.
Peppa.
In an interview, Cube says, in explaining his stage name,
Cube.
He implicates his older brother. He threatened to slam me into a freezer and pull me out when I was an Ice Cube. I just started using that name and it caught on.
How did Ice-T get his name? What's his real name?
Ice-T? Hold on, yeah. I'll look that up.
I have a really funny. What's Ice-T's wife's name?
Tracy Lauren Marrow.
Okay. What was his wife's name? Coco?
Yeah, Coco Austin.
Coco Austin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're still married. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have a story related to Coco, but it's not safe for the podcast. It was something a student said to me when he was very young. And
I like Cocoa cereal.
Like Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah.
Or Cocoa Krispies?
I have it right here.
Okay.
They're actually keto puffs. Not that you're listening.
Okay. Thank you. So, all right. Do we have anything more? We've talked about Will Smith. We've talked about
Ice-T, Cube.
Right. Are we missing any ices? Vanilla Ice. Isn't his name like Robert Van Winkle or something?
Hold on.
It is, right? Rob Van Winkle. Robert Matthew Van Winkle.
Robert Matthew Van Winkle.
How did he get the name Vanilla Ice?
I don't know.
Do you remember when he was in the Ninja Turtle movie?
Yes.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Let's see. Vanilla Ice, right. Ice-T, Ice Cube, Mr. T. What about Mr. T?
This podcast has really devolved. We're just going into celebrity stages.
Lawrence Tarad.
Lawrence Tarad?
Yep.
Okay.
From the A-Team. I pity the food. Bum, bum, bum. This A-Team is certainly not the A-Team. We are like the F-Team.
Well, I mean, that's how you got the name JV Joe.
Oh, don't drag me into that.
Don't drag you into JV Joe? Did you have that name before I called you that?
No.
Okay.
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of. Not really.
All right. That was a good name.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I mean, me, well, actually you can, but no, you can't. No, you can. No, you can't. It doesn't matter anymore.
Okay. That was a former life.
Yes, the former.
All right. Well, I think we've exhausted all our topics. Let's wrap it up. Folks, thanks for staying with us. Please leave an opinion if you'd like. We encourage it. I think conversation is really, I think it's really important.
Did you see any of the Oscar movies?
Yeah. I did. I saw I saw Power of the Dog, which I thought was terrible. And they made a joke about that. I saw Power of the Dog. I did not see Coda, but I called it. We were messaging before, and I was like, I think Coda is going to win Best Picture. That's how good of a movie viewer I am. I know what movie's going to win, even if I haven't seen it.
Anything. Well, I mean, that's the sign language movie. You can't top a sign language movie like in a dramatic.
Last year they did
film, and
there was a movie last year called The Sound of Metal, and that did not win. Nomadland won last year, and that was garbage, in my opinion.
What was the other movie about?
Nomadland or Sound of Metal? Sound of Metal was a drummer who, ironically enough, another deaf, hearing impaired individual in music. Did you pretend to make a sign language sign?
Taylor Hawkins.
Oh, okay, got it. I didn't know. I thought you were, because I didn't see like a full cross. I just saw your hand go, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Did you notice that Bob Saget was not in the memorandum, or Ed Asner?
I didn't notice that, actually, no.
Yep. Anyway.
I know Ed Asner should have been. Bob Saget,
Yep.
I don't know, was Bob Saget in movies? Other than Half Baked, I can't think of a movie.
He was a stand-up in the 80s, and then he was in a few movies, and he became TV on Full House. He was America's TV dad, and then he became
right. But the Oscars, but the Oscars are movies, not TV.
That's true, though.
Ed Asner was in movies. Like I can think of movies that Ed Asner.
Betty White was in there. Betty White was mostly TV.
Betty White was in plenty of movies.
More movies or TV, though?
I think she's more well known for her work in TV, but I'm just saying she was in movies also.
No, but yes, you can. Yes, but I'm saying maybe she's gotten more credits in a television.
I understand what you're saying.
A movie role.
I understand what you're saying, and honestly, I think Ed Asner kind of falls into that category also.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like Bob Saget, I don't think. I mean, Bob Saget was in direct to Netflix movies, and like Half Baked. Okay. I don't want to downplay his career. I'm just saying,
No, and I'm not telling you.
Right. Okay. So
now we're done. All right.
Now we're done. Okay. You're not going to ask me any more questions after I'm getting ready to sign off again?
No, just sign off. We're done. Goodbye.
All right. Till next time. It'll be another 3 months. And
No.
We'll start recording more often. I promise.
You tell me.
Okay. We'll record Friday. All right.
You heard it.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Wait, where's the stop?